my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy Sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book related things, and today I am giving you the part 2 to my CLEARURSHT TBR. This is going to be the prompts that come out in December, and therefore also the books that I will be reading in December. I, much like last month's, will put the book title, the book, and the prompt underneath it, so that way everything is in that little corner, and all the information will be right there, okay? Let's get this show on the road, shall we? Because I'm going to run out of breath before I finish this, okay? This has less prompts than the previous one, but I'm still very excited about getting the ebooks down that I own, because I own too many. So first up, we have Read a Book That You Think Has an Ugly Cover, and I will be reading Difficult Girls by Veronica Bain. A teen girl's attempt at social reinvention takes a deadly turn when a coworker disappears, and she learns that she may have been the last person to see the missing girl. After an incident last year, Greta Riley Green is looking for some kind of reinvention. She has a job at Hyper Kid Magic Land, the local amusement park, and that seems like the perfect way for her to forge a new path, no matter what it takes. Then fate pulls her into the orbit of Mercy Goodwin, the star of the park's most popular show, and it feels like things are looking up. Mercy has a secret to share if Greta will just meet her at lunch the next day. It's a sign that Greta's truly fitting in. Only when the time comes, Mercy is a no-show, as she is every day after that. She just stops coming to work. Greta knows something is wrong. She can't help thinking to the night back at the party. Did Mercy seem upset? Terrified even? Could she be in trouble? It wouldn't be the first time a talented young performer came to a sinister end at Hyper Kid. Of course, Greta has her own issues with the past, and the more she uncovers Hyper Kid's secrets, the more her own threaten to resurface. This job was meant to be a reboot, a summer without trouble, but trouble, it seems, finds Greta and her past, and the bloody past of Hyper Kid is about to catch up with her. I just really like amusement park thrillers. I think that's a fun concept. I think we should do that more, honestly. Next up, we have Read a Book with a Strange Animal or Pet, and I will be reading Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. I don't know why I do know why I included this, is because it explicitly says it has a cat in the description. Healer Anya regularly drinks poison, not to die but to save, seeking cures from those everyone else has given up on. But a summons from the king interrupts her quiet, herb-obsessed life. His daughter, Snow, is dying, and he hopes Anya's unorthodox methods can save her. Aided by a taciturn guard, a narcissistic cat, and a passion for the scientific method, Anya rushes to treat Snow, but nothing seems to work. That is, until she finds a secret hidden world inside a magic mirror. This dark realm may hold the key to what is making Snow sick. Or it might be the thing that kills them all. Snow White retelling. Then we have A Free Space, which I will be reading Doll Parts by Penny Zhang. For best friends Nikki and Sadie, college was supposed to be a fresh start, a way to blast Courtney love from car speakers and leave their youth behind. But along with sadness-obsessed girls and intrusive professors, a dark story plagues their small all-women school, the Sylvia Club, a campus legend surrounding the deaths of multiple Sylvia Plath-adoring students, all written off as suicides. Aspiring writer Nikki finds herself drawn to the tragic tales, so much so that the dead girls begin to haunt her dark imagination. As she digs deeper, Nikki soon suspects that there's much more to the story, a suspicion that will now lead to a tragedy of its own, one that will tear her and Sadie apart. It's been 20 years since Sadie last saw her estranged friend. Now, Nikki is dead, and when Sadie ends up pregnant by Nikki's grieving husband not long after the funeral, she finds herself stepping into her ex-best friend's seemingly perfect life. But the longer Sadie lives in Nikki's eerily preserved home, the more she sees her appear, and soon she's convinced that Nikki is sending her clues from beyond the grave. Because it seems Nikki never stopped looking for answers about what happened to the girls of the Sylvia Club, and she may have been its latest victim. I think it's told in like parallel timelines, which I think could be kind of interesting. We'll see. For mini boss that we have coming up, it will be the strengths, and my strength is always completes CLEARURSHT, because I do. Not to flex, but I literally always do. It has nothing to do with the fact that I pick the prompts, and so I make sure I always have something that fits them. You know my secret. I will be reading The Influencers by Anna Marie Miclemore. Mother May I Iverson has spent the past 20 years building a massively successful influencer empire with endearing videos featuring her 5 mixed-race daughters. But the girls are all grown up now, and the ramifications of having their entire childhoods commodified start to spill over into public view, especially in light of the pivotal Who Killed May's Newlywed Husband and Then Torched Her Mansion to cover it up. April is a businesswoman feuding with her mother over intellectual property. Twins June and July are influencers themselves, threatening to overtake May's spotlight. January is a theater tech who steers clear of her mother and the limelight. And the youngest, well, March, has somehow completely disappeared. As the days pass post-murder, everyone has an opinion. The sisters, May, a mysterious friend of the family, and the collective voice of the online audience watching the family's every move, with suspicion flying every direction. I can't believe these girls are named after... I can't... Like, I know the mom's name is May, and then it... But, like, what? Why would you do that? Read a book set in another world is the next prompt, and I will be reading Soul Music by Terry Pratchett. This is the next book in the Discworld series, so I'm not going to go into what that's about because I don't want to spoil anything. Next up, we have Read a Book You Think Narrator Ariadne or Hawthorne will like. I picked Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. I think that narrator would like it. That's my personal opinion. Thayer Wren, the brilliant CEO of Ren Fair Magitech and so-called father of modern technology, is dead. Any one of his 3 telepathically and electrokinetically gifted children would be a plausible inheritor to the Ren Fair throne, or at least so they like to think. Meredith, textbook accomplished oldest daughter and the head of her own groundbreaking biotech company, has recently cured mental illness. You're welcome. If only her father's fortune wasn't her last hope for keeping her journalist ex-boyfriend from exposing what she really is, a fraud. Arthur, second youngest congressman in history, fights the good fight every day of his life, and yet his wife might be leaving him and he's losing re-election campaign. But his dead father's approval in the form of a seat on the Ren Fair throne might turn his sinking ship around. Elodie, that name is spelled crazy, that's why I made that face, once the world's most famous ballerina, has spent the last 5 years as a run-of-the-mill marketing executive at her father's company after a life-altering injury put an end to her prodigious career. She might be lacking in accolades compared to her siblings, but if her father left her everything, it would finally validate her worth by confirming she's been his favorite all along. On the pipeline of gifted kid to clinically depressed adult, nobody wins, but which Ren will come out on top? It just feels very satirical, and I think that's... like, not satirical, it feels very sarcastic, which I think is inherently the vibe of narrator, right? So, read a book you haven't been able to fit into a prompt yet, and I will be reading Catabasis, I might be saying that wrong, by R.F. Kuang. Alice Law has only ever had one goal, to become one of the brightest minds in the field of magic. She has sacrificed everything to make that a reality. Her pride, her health, her love life, and most definitely her sanity, all to work with Professor Jacob Grimes at Cambridge, the greatest magician in the world. That is, until he dies in a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Grimes is now in hell, and she's going in after him, because his recommendation could hold her very future in his now incorporeal hands, and even death is not going to stop the pursuit of her dreams. Nor will the fact that her rival, Peter Murdoch, has come to the same conclusion. Okay. Read a book you got for a different readathon / challenge. I don't know how this, to me this fits in this prompt because I had planned on reading it many months ago and I just kept not, and so that's how it fits for me. And that's going to be The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and I didn't write the author's name. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Sarah Swan used to be one of the most powerful witches in Britain. Then she resurrected her great Aunt Jasmine from the very recently dead, lost most of her magic, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox, and was exiled from her guild. Now, she, slightly reluctantly and just a bit grumpily, helps her aunt run an enchanted inn in Lancashire, where she deals with her quirky guests' shenanigans, tries to keep said talking fox in check, and longs for the future that seems lost to her. But then she finds out about an old spell that could hold the key to restoring her power. Enter Luke Larson, handsome and icy magical historian who arrives on a dark winter evening and might just know how to unlock the spell's secrets. Luke has absolutely no interest in getting involved in madcap going-ons of the inn, and is definitely not about to let a certain bewitching innkeeper past his walls, so no one is more surprised than he is when he agrees to help Sarah with her spell. Worse, he might actually be thawing. Romance. Running it in and reclaiming lost magic and staying one step ahead of the Watchful Guild is a lot for anyone, but Sarah Swan is about to discover that she doesn't have to do it alone, and that weird, wonderful family she's made might be the best magic of all. Next up, we have Read a Book Outside of Your Comfort Zone / genre. This is like dark fantasy romance, which is not my comfort zone / genre, and I will be reading the Belladonna trilogy, Belladonna, Foxglove, and Wisteria by Adeline Grace. Because this is a trilogy and I don't want this video to be too long, I am not going to go into explaining the about, but I'll be reading that, and possibly also Holly, which is the like little book in between, or at the end, like a little extra book. It's a novella. Next up, we have Read a Book published in your birth month, and we have The Last Rewitch by Jenna Lee Yoon. Since her mother died when she was 5 years old, it's always just been Ronnie Miller and her dad, two Korean Americans who, thanks to Ronnie's dad's adoption by white parents, have never felt all that Korean. But Ronnie is okay with that. As long as she has her dad and her best friend Jack, Ronnie is 99% certain she can get through anything. But as she wants to stay the same, the world and her dad has other plans. Now, Ronnie and Jack are headed away to sleepaway camp for the first time ever. Camp Foster promises all the outdoorsy activities that Ronnie has so far managed to avoid. Ropes, courses, scavenger hunts, kayaking, etc. But she can do this as long as she has Jack. As it turns out, an old manor in the woods is the kind of place that's crawling with secrets. Secrets like the mysterious Guishin haunting the grounds, a blood-red scarf too tightly around her ghostly neck, and a witch hunting Dokubai intent on finding and silencing the last Rewitch, and the strange habit all the counselors have of rhyming when they speak, just like Ronnie has begun to do lately. For a girl who wants everything to stay the same, nothing is scarier than all the changes that Camp Foster brings. New friends, new foes, souls with unfinished business, and possibly worst of all, revelations that disprove everything that Ronnie knew to be true. Next up, we have our free space, which I will be reading Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I'm not even excited about this. I just have had this ebook for like ages, so I was like, all right, I might as well go ahead and read this. The worst thing to ever happen on Hemlock Circle occurred in Ethan Marsh's backyard. On one July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend and neighbor Billy fell asleep in a tent and set up on a manicured lawn in a quiet, quaint New Jersey cul-de-sac. In the morning, Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy. He was never seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home. Plagued by bad dreams and insomnia, he begins to notice strange things happening in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours, and signs of Billy's presence keep appearing in Ethan's backyard. Is someone playing a cruel prank, or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned to Hemlock Circle? The mysterious occurrences prompt Ethan to investigate what really happened that night, a quest that reunites him with former friends and neighbors and leads him into the woods that surround Hemlock Circle, woods where Billy claimed monsters roamed and where a mysterious institute does clandestine research on a crumbling estate. The closer Ethan gets to the truth, the more he realizes that no place, be it quiet forest or suburban street, is completely safe, and the past has a way of haunting the present. So here's the thing. Riley Sager sucks at writing endings. He has terrible endings. He also wrote under a gender-neutral name for a while so he could get away with writing female characters without any, grief. So I don't love Riley Sager, but I have read many of his books, so they always disappoint me. I don't know why. Anyway, and then we have Boss Battle, which is your weapons. I will be choosing Needle, and just like before, I'm not telling you the prompt. I will be reading the nonfiction book Raising Good Humans by Hunter Clark Fields. This is about raising kind and compassionate children. It's a nonfiction book about parenting. And then I will also be reading a nonfiction book about Virginia Woolf. It's like 15 pages. I don't even know if I'm going to count it in like all of my stats and stuff, but I'm mentioning it here. The cover's not even going to be up here because I didn't save it. But I have the ebook for some reason. I think I got it. I think it's a Kindle Unlimited copy that I just have. So I don't really know, but that's it. That is the last of the books that I will be reading for Clear Your Shit and for the year. So very exciting. I wish my cat would stop getting in the way though. That would be great. Can I finish filming, please? No. That is going to be all of the books that I will be reading for the rest of the year and for Clear Your Shit. So I'm very excited. Let me know in the comments down below if you are participating in Clear Your Shit, if you've read any of these or you want to read any of these books. I'd love to hear about it. What are your thoughts about Riley Sager, I guess? I don't know. Just let me know. I think that it's interesting to talk about some of these books, and by the time this comes out, there's a chance that I will have started reading some of them already, and I might already have opinions. So, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share, and also I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so I will see you later on this week. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.